Good morning, everybody. We are back. We are back. The show is called TBR SSF Show. It is myself, the Saubrey Boyz Walefatshe. I'm joined by Tshepang Last Born. We don't have Sueng today. I'm sure busy Bloemfontein is setting up. I've tried him this morning, and then it was very difficult to reach him. But he's not one person who disappears. He always try by all means to connect, to link up. So I think he's busy. But we'll see whether we'll talk during the day and find out what's happening. Last one, welcome to the show and greet the viewers.
Yes, no, good morning, Mr. Shabalala. And yes, to the viewers out there, thanks for having me this morning.
Last one, we are playing the game today, Zimbabwe, which is a crucial game. And then a win will be giving us an advantage. But I hear the coach saying, even if you don't win, we still have games, all right? That's one side of the story that we need to talk about. But what also caught my eye when I was going through the publications, Goal Magazine have come up with an article very interesting that Relebohile, his father, wishes that the young man can go and play in Holland. We have heard the news that, or rumors, let me put it that way, that he is scouted by the teams in, what is this place? In Scottish Rangers, they want him. But his father wishes that he joins Holland and then plays there for 2 years, thereafter join a big team. And his father is putting a very good argument to say, look at what happens to Steven Pienaar. The Holland are very good when it comes to development. Remember, the boy is 19 years old. So I want us to look at that and talk about that. And then the other thing is, we've heard what the agent of the coach, Pitso Mosimane, has been quoted saying Pitso's wish is to coach at national level, to experience the AFCON as a coach. And also, Pitso's interest is to play the Club World Cup. All right. And then I don't know, that gives us an indication of where is he going to hit to. But during the week, I saw something saying, Pitso was saying, people need to give Kaiser Chiefs a space so that they make their own decision, all right? Because they need to assess where do they want to go, unlike putting too much pressure to Chiefs management to, to appoint a coach under pressure because people are saying this. So those are some of the news, but I'm saying that in passing. And then we'll also look at Bafana Bafana. Let's start with this one of Relebohile. Relebohile Mofokeng. Greet the viewers. Let's take it from there.
Yes, no. Yeah, the Mofokeng issue, I listened to also his press conference last week during the Nedbank Cup. After the Nedbank Cup final, when the journalists were also pointing out possible moves for him, with allegedly different clubs wanting him, and he was saying that he doesn't know any of that. Yes, his father might know or give information, but for him, he's just focused on Pirates at the moment. But what I would like to say is, yes, Netherlands, they are very good in terms of development. We've seen a lot of players once they go there, as you are saying, the likes of Steven Pienaar as well. Once they're that side, they're able to actually be groomed properly and also be developed and get ready to actually break out in bigger teams. For me, Netherlands is not a bad idea. I also like Belgium as well, because with Belgium as well, you are very exposed to different leagues and big competitions like your Champions Leagues and Europa Leagues. So let's say if the club like Anderlecht or Club Brugge would sign him, he will be exposed to European football. And we do know when it comes to Belgium competition that side, I think with our players, South African players going to Belgium, I think though they are able to cope and manage. Pesitao, when he went to Club Brugge, first season he was playing the Champions League, you know. So I think with him going there, for me, Netherlands or Belgium would be good picks for me, or even Scotland as well, because we do know also them in terms of their development side as well and exposure. They are also exposed to European football. So I think with him, he can cope there. I don't see him and I don't want him to stay in South Africa. I mean, players his age are already competing in the highest stage, and he has clearly has shown us that he is matured for his age. So I would think it would be best for him to get the exposure going overseas, and then after that, you know, maybe starting from a lower league and then building his way up. I think that can work for him.
Now they also, as I go through Gold Magazine, they also say they quote Pilani Kwela, all right, who left our shores, played under 19 in 2009, and then the boy went overseas, and then after that when he came back he was not. In fact, he struggled overseas, and then he struggled and he disappeared, and like that. And Olueti Makanya also, who's currently trading his game in MLS, and then apparently things have not worked out. So they say sometimes if you allow players to leave that early, that may create problems. And then we also look at Mailula. We see that Mailula is struggling to do well in what is this place in
The MLS.
in MLS. So now those arguments are coming into play to say maybe it's too early to let Relebohile to leave Pirates to go overseas. But like you're saying, there are places that are very good, like Netherlands and Holland, where young players are being nurtured very well. So, what's your take about those kind of arguments?
Yeah, I know. For me, I beg to differ because I mean, yes, certain type of players we do know when they go abroad, they can't make it. They end up struggling and they come back. But same applies to players that play in Europe in general, whether you're from Spain, Germany, France, or wherever. You move to certain teams, it's not working out. You move to another team, it's not working out. So I think it's football in general. We have South American players in South Africa playing for Sundowns, your Ribeiros, your Escovals, your Allendes. Allendes from Arsenal, development of Arsenal. Since he was young until I think under 17, I think he's been in the development system of Arsenal. Why couldn't he break through in the European teams? I mean, you're from Arsenal, clearly probably a bigger team, maybe that side, or maybe in the Premier League, a lower team in the Premier League could have signed you, but yet he's here in South Africa. So with players, it's different, but we can't say that it's too early for him to leave. What's early? He's 19 years old. This is the right time for him to get the exposure that he needs. Cassius Malula is 21. Yes, he's playing in the MLS, but check the players that he's playing around. He's got your likes of Benedeschi, players that are playing in the Serie A. Those are experienced players that can give Cassius Malula a bit of edge, a bit of knowledge, players that can actually mentor him and make him grow, learn him, teach him, and so that he can learn the game. You understand? So I think for me, he's under a good environment for him to grow. From the MLS, I think maybe going into a different league can help Mailula. He doesn't have to come back in South Africa. So for me, Relebohile needs to go abroad. He doesn't have time. We always say that players have time, but they don't really have time. If he would stay in South Africa for another year or 2 years, what if something doesn't go according to plan, and then talent will be gone in terms of him going overseas, and then he'll be stuck in South Africa. So I think for me, when you get the opportunity to leave at a younger age, go now and go develop yourself, and then so that you can be able to develop your game and grow from your game.
What about an argument that there was Kimmich Erasmus at 18? He joined Feyenoord in Holland, and then he has played for various team Reims. He struggled at League Two in France, and then we've just heard that Pirates is about to release him. So
Yeah.
don't you think that kind of argument will come into play?
Yeah, but as I'm saying, with players are different. Players are not the same. We do have imports whereby we have exported certain players whereby they are doing quite well overseas. I mean, there's a boy right now, 17 years old, if I'm not mistaken. He's from Stellenbosch, I think, development. He's training with Bayern Munich right now. I think with the under 19 Bayern youth team. You know, he did well apparently in a competition in Munich. Now he's training with the team. So if he does well, he's under good management, he's under a good system, he's definitely going to stay in Germany. So for me, I think it depends on the type of player. Players are not the same. I'll give you an example. We've got a player like Memphis Depay. Memphis Depay has been club hopping for the past 10 years. He doesn't really stay 2 seasons in a team. He's been at Man United, he went to Lyon, went to Barcelona, Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid just released him now. He's out there again, going to get another team. So there are players, that's what I'm saying, in Europe as well. They're doing the same thing. So it depends on the type of player for me. For what type, I don't know. If you are lucky to stay for a certain period of time in a team, then that's good for you.
Now, let me ask this. Do you think discipline also play a major role? I'll tell you why I'm bringing the subject. I looked at, yeah, there's a reflection, background. I don't know, there's a light that is coming. Oh, yeah, now you're in a better position. Discipline, I don't know whether, does it come to play? Because I look at Relebohile. He looks like a very level-headed young man, grounded, okay, showing a lot of respect, very excited to play. He's enjoying to play, all right? I don't know whether will that work for him. And then I'm bringing again Kimit Erasmus. Kimit Erasmus, we know what happened when he was at Sundowns. He had runs-ins with the coach, Rulani, and all that. When I'm looking at a distance, I'm not saying he's ill-disciplined, but I'm saying, don't you think that part of the element that makes the player to break in and do well is how disciplined they are, right? How grounded they are. Because if I talk like Kimit Erasmus, I mean, if a player is seen reminiscing or exchanging words with a coach, even if it's an opponent coach, but other coaches are looking at, if I get this player, he's not going to listen to me. I don't know. What's your take about that? Do you think discipline also plays a major role?
Yeah, discipline, ego. I think those are the two main things in South African football, especially South African players. Whether you're playing in a lower league or in an upper league, we see them on a daily basis. When it comes to that and the lifestyle as well, we do know plays a huge role. And also, one thing about our league is it actually pays well. The PSL pays well. I mean, it's hard for players to leave and go abroad if they know that they kind of getting the same rate. Our league pays well, hence why they were saying that it's difficult for players to go abroad unless if a deal actually makes sense. So one, I mean, if your Kennedy Erasmus has been going in and out of the country, changing clubs, I think for them it's been stability. Some players don't really find stability. It's tough for a South African as well when they go abroad and go to these clubs in terms of treatment and how for them to settle in. They always complain about that they're settling in. It's not very easy for South Africans to settle overseas, and we do know also the treatment of the clubs. I mean, you're an African player. We know how Africans are being treated abroad. So not everyone has a stomach for it to stay actually abroad and fulfill what you need to fulfill. But it's all about making a name for yourself. Quinton Fortune made a name for himself in Man United. He's a legend there. Benny McCarthy as well made a name for himself in Europe, legend. The likes of Steven Pienaar, legend at Everton, Zuma as well at Olympiacos. They even have a statue for him. So I think it's all about, once you're that side, you need to cement and make a name for yourself. Because even with these African players abroad, your Sadio Manes, your Salahs, your Didier Drogba, your Eto'os, they all made names for themselves so that they can be respected globally. So I think it's all about making a name for yourself. I think that's when the respect comes in place. So if you don't, you'll be in and out, one of those players that you are just in and out. And yes, clubs won't really respect you, and you'll be forced out to actually leave and keep club hopping.
As I said, when I talk about the issue of discipline, they talk about Pagamani Mahlambi, all right, who once being a sought after player. And then Kevin Hunt says, the boy had problem because of ill discipline and long injuries, all right? And then in his earlier careers at Bidvest, and then he joined Al Ahly, and then from Al Ahly, then he went to Sundowns, and then now he's struggling, so then he last played for Chippa United in 2021-22. So the element of discipline also, I think, plays a major role. But let's move on. Our bet is let the young man leave. And hopefully, I'll also argue, let him leave, provided Pirates agrees, okay? Because at the same time, you don't want to bend the bridges, but it will be good for him to leave. And I hope they will let him leave with an adult who will be there for him, all right? And then so that he always keep his feet on the ground. We wish him good luck. Let's look at Bafana Bafana. Do you think what's going to happen? And then I was checking in terms of the injury list. I don't know whether Grant Kekane will be able to play. Remember last time he was injured, and then you could see his gap that there was a problem since he was in there. And then I don't know, how do you see Bafana Bafana against Zimbabwe? Do you think they'll do well?
Yeah, no. We expect nothing less but a win. They need to just cement their place. You need to kill. I mean, they really need to do their job. They need to go out for a kill. Zimbabwe is not doing quite well. So I think when a team is down, you need to hit it harder. You need to bury them as much as you can. So we don't need any excuses out of this game. I know our coach is saying that even if we don't win, there's still more games to play. Those more games to play are the games that will be crucial. So if we're going to lead this table, we need to lead the table from now, so that when those games come, we are able to manage the last remaining game so that we can stay at top spot. So nothing less but a win in this game. But I trust we do have a good squad. We played well against Nigeria. So I think if we can come in with the same mentality against Zimbabwe, I think we will get the results that we're looking for.
Now, one of the respected legend, Owen Dagama, who's now a coach, says maybe the technical team, they need to use Pesitao differently, all right? He needs to play as a second striker or as somebody who's there behind strikers, a free role, like number 10, and then rather than playing in the wing. So what's your take about it?
Yeah, it's true. When Percy left the country, when he was still at Sundowns, Percy was playing more of a second striker, having that free roam, dancing with the ball. We've seen how he was, how free he was. Coach Pitso did say that when Percy's happy, you get the best out of him. He can do things which can't be done, So I think for me, he needs to be offloaded just the pressure, but get that free roam position. And behind the striker could work for him. Percy just needs to be free. He doesn't need to carry a team all alone. I mean, there's players that can do that as well. So I think for me, if he can just be offloaded, yes, play as a second striker, I think it can work for us. He'll be free. Percy is a player that plays anyway up front. So for him getting that opportunity, I think that's when we can see the whole creative play of Percy Tau.
Now, there is noise that we hear people are complaining that why Hugo Bros left Mabasa. Mabasa should have been there. He's a top goal scorer in the PSL. But I heard Hugo Bros at some point saying, we once used Mabasa, but I had to substitute him. All right, because of the disappointment. What's your take about this? What's your point? Do you think it was a miss to leave Mabasa and have Reyners and the guy from England? What is his name again?
Lyle Foster.
Foster. What's your take?
Yeah, I think for me it was a hard decision for the coach to take. Yes, with us, the supporters sitting outside, would love to have all the players that we want in the national team. But I think with the coach sees everything with a different eye. In terms of work rate, Reyners works harder than Mabasa. So I would pick Reyners any day. Yes, Mabasa is the top goal scorer by 1 goal. Reyners is second, but I'll take Reyners any day in terms of his goal contributions, his assists, his work rate. So I'd pick Reyners over Mabasa any day. And with Lyle Foster as well. Lyle is versatile. If you can see him play at Burnley, he's not really a solid number 9, but he plays as a false 9 as well. So he knows how to fit in the system when it comes to the offensive play, whereby Mabasa is just a typical number 9 who just stands there, who just receives and needs to deliver just like that. So I think with this one, I personally don't blame the coach. Yes, maybe during the next camp, maybe you might start including him depending on his form. I mean, we had the likes of Kanyisa Mayo. Mayo was firing goals. He got an opportunity at the national team so that the coach can see him in 2 games, but it didn't give the coach anything. I mean, even his touches were poor. So it just shows that, yes, it was just a hype in the DSTV Premiership, but where it matters most in the national team, he's not really cut out for the national team. So there are players like that they're not really cut out for the national team, but they're doing good for the respective clubs. So I think the coach saw and just took different players based on how he wants to play.
Okay, Bafanas, thank you so much. We can have so many people, so many coaches, but at the end of the day, we need to accept the decision that has been taken by the coach, and the coach has proven that he knows what he's doing. You can see Bafana Bafana; they play with confidence, and then they believe that they can do. I think our weakness is in the central defense. If Kekana is not there, I'm a little bit worried. Mvala is trying his level best, but you know what? We'll see what's going to happen. Yeah, your prediction of this game?
Yeah, we need goals, and goals is something which we don't score. Hey, we don't have actually. So I think if we can win by 3-0, I think we'll be comfortable. It's a home game for us, so we need to make sure and get the goals that we need.
Yeah, we hope that the fans will go there to have the seat, to have the bums on the seats, so that to support Bafana Bafana. Last one, thank you so much appreciated, and good luck for the day. And then bid the viewers farewell.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. And to the viewers out there, thank you for your subscriptions and your likes and your engagement as well. And to you also, Mr. Shabalala, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Bye-bye.